Well, I introduced 3 Khuli Loaches to my Fluval Flex tank, and unfortunately all 3 had died. Now, I had been checking for ammonia and nitrates, checked the water temperature and water condition as best I could, and I couldn't find a reason why this happened, although certainly there could have been one of many reasons. And then I realised that there was something that I had overlooked. This flex tank had an existing quartet of 4 Serpae tetras. Now they were reasonably happy in there, they were well established and I'd had no problems with them. Although on one morning I could only find 3. Searched everywhere and in the end found it had gone through the grills at the water intake and had got caught in a little area that I'd made as a surface skimmer. So I was able to catch it and put it back in the main tank, and I then made sure that it couldn't happen again by rearranging the sponges to block the entrance. Now in the tank I've got various filter media in bags such as scoria and lava rock, and these are tied up with a natural fibre garden twine. I also had some commercial noodles. I don't have additional aeration in this tank as I believe there is sufficient surface agitation to provide what the fish need. Now one thing about these tetras is I noticed that they don't seem to like feeding off the bottom. They will take food from the surface, but they really seem to prefer taking food that is floating down to the bottom. And therein lies a problem, because any leftover food is likely to contaminate the tank. Now the tank layout includes caves and crevices under the driftwood. So I was thinking of a bottom dweller or bottom feeder which could utilise those as well. So I decided on getting some Khuli Loaches. I researched them first and then ordered some online, as I cannot buy things like that locally. They duly arrived, and I introduced the existing tank water to the bag by way of a drip system. This is spread over an hour so that any change to the water temperature or the water characteristics would be minimised as much as possible. They then went into the main tank. Now, as I watched them over the next few days, I was starting to become a little bit concerned, as there was a tendency for them to stay at the top of the tank. Now I know this appears to be the case in many situations with these loaches, as there are plenty of references to it online. I don't think oxygen depletion in the water is a problem, although I know that through surface contact they can absorb oxygen, so I did not think they were unduly at risk. But unfortunately one died within a few days, and by the second week the second one had died. I then caught the remaining loach and put it into the main community tank that I have. It seemed more inclined to stay in the bottom, but unfortunately it too died within a few days. I should also note that in that same consignment of fish, I had bought 3 otocinclus catfish. They went into the main community tank, and unfortunately 2 of those also died. The third remained to be quite healthy, and several months later is still thriving. Oh, wait a minute. What did I say at the beginning of this video? Bags, such as scoria and lava rock, and these are tied up with a natural fibre garden twine. Garden twine. I tied the bags with garden twine, a natural product. Of course it's natural, it's made from plants. So when I originally set up this tank, I made up some bags of pumice and also some of lava rock. Now, although these bags have nylon ties, what I used originally was good old garden twine, and that's a natural fibre, so I thought it would be safe for the tanks. On top of this I put a couple of bags of commercial noodles, which were already in their own bags. Well, twine is most likely made from hemp, sisal or jute, and that's plant material. Obviously that's biodegradable. That's a good thing. But rotting plants create nitrates, and nitrates can be a problem. So I dug into the bottom of the tanks after some 4 months. I hadn't needed to do it earlier because there was no build-up that I could see of any dirt or debris in the filter system. But when I got down to the bottom of the tank, I found this. The bags were fine, but the twine had completely disintegrated, and of course that would be building up the nitrate level. Now, water being water, it will take the easiest path through the filter system, the path of least resistance. Therefore it's quite possible that the nitrate build-up was just in little backwaters or eddies or dead spots within the filter system, and that build-up wasn't going straight into the main tank, but it was building up to the extent that it overpowered the bacteria, and then at some stage would flush through into the tank. Now there the fish would be exposed to it, and that would start to create problems for them. But of course that water is still circulating, so it would go back into the filter system, into the areas where the bacteria was still at full strength, and of course they would then take care of those excess nitrates. So this is possibly a reason why my testing for ammonia and nitrates did not show anything out of the normal, because it could have just been isolated spikes, but enough to affect the fish. Well, there you have it. Did it kill the fish? Was it a contributing factor? Well, the jury is still out, and unfortunately I'll never know the reason. But there's a good lesson to be learned here, just to really think about what you do put in your tank. Something I should have done in the very beginning. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Keep on fishing.